Hello, Bart here from Independent Games Workshop. In our last tutorial, we left off in about this screen. We didn't have a player join, but in this case I have a test player that I logged in with another browser window. Just for your information, I'm going to be swapping between two browser windows so I can essentially play the game by myself to show you the ropes. So first of all, when another player is joined, you'll get a lock-in settings button, and before you lock in settings, you could change your powers here if you wish. Click off to close that, or you could change your landmass color if you wish, and click off to close that. And when you're ready, all you have to do is just lock in settings, and if both players have locked in, the game will start automatically. So here we are. This is one of our newer maps, Cavernous Ruins, a smaller map. So let's go over basic movement. Now, basic movement's very simple. All you gotta do is just basically click and drag your piece here, and as you can see, there's different colored hexes that we want to use. And the first way to move is just to move one space. And if you move it to a fully lit hex like that, basically it'll duplicate. And you can also move two hexes for it to move. So if I'm just going to go over to the other player here. Now, when it's your turn, basically you'll hear like a little sound play. It'll sound like a bong sound. Oh, sorry, gong sound. Bong. Anyway, so the next thing is a couple things here. Is like, what are these red hexes? These red hexes are basically attack hexes. If you move a piece next to any neutral piece, which are these guys here, or your enemy, you'll attack. And you could just basically shimmy it back and forth to attack. As you can see, I had a little timer that basically kind of tuned me off there, and I'll explain that as I'm seeing it. So here, over here is your time. Now I can't speak quick enough, and sometimes the timer is going to click off, but basically this will count down, giving you some time to make your moves. And if you make your moves and you finish them, you basically go to the next turn. If not, it'll start to warn you just by glowing yellow for like that for a second. But if you want to pass turn, you can just hit pass turn. So next here, so I'm going to do some basic attacks here just to kind of clear up some room here. Now, what are these guys? I just picked one up. I'll show you what those guys are in just a second here. So I'm going to other player. Now these are called mana wells, and they're important to get. Those are points that you want to control throughout the map. What they do is they generate resources called mana that you'll use for your powers down here, and every round it'll spit out some of these what we call mana globes, and you just kind of scoop them up with your mouse, and I'll kind of show you how that works. Mana also comes out when you destroy pieces, so you can see that it pops out. It'll just kind of gravitate right to your mouse just like that. So now we're making some progress, and as you can see, I just picked up those mana globes, and it just gave me a mana breakthrough, and I'll explain what that does in a little bit, but furthermore I just want to talk a little bit more about how you move and such. So I'm going to duplicate some pieces here. I'm also going to just destroy this last piece there, pick up that mana. Now next, we're just going to go to other player and start to pick up that up. So let me talk what that is. What that does is it gives you another move. Up here is your status bar, and basically when it's your turn, yours will show up. And these little pips here are moves, and as you can see, I have 2 out of 4, so I can move 2 more times before it exhausts. And when I run out of moves, it's the other player's turn. And as you can see, this guy has 4 moves to use. I'm going to pick up the mana that I just got, and I'm going to start to try to just attack this side over here. And as you can see, I moved 4 times instead of 3. Now down here, there's these little pips on your mana bar, and this is your mana bar. This will continue to get bigger and bigger as you gain mana. Down here is your potential bar, which is basically stored kinetic energy. And you get that by attacking pieces or getting damage. If you watch down there, it improves slightly. And that's important when you want to get into powers, which we'll cover in the next tutorial. So, how do you win this game? So, first of all, I'm just going to kind of rapidly play here. Now, the point of the game is to grab all 5 or 6 of these points or destroy your opponent. So if you destroy your opponent, basically he won't have any pieces to play with and you win the game. If you grab all of the mana wells, that will basically alert the other user that they need to get one back before their turn's up, or they lose. It's kind of like a checkmate. So the next thing I want to talk about is combos. Now, sometimes you could move a piece in here, like a place here, we could hit 4 in a row, or 5 in a row, or 3 in a row. These are good to do, because when you do that, it boosts up your potential down here, which is a nice little bonus, and you also get more points. So I'm going to try to set myself up here just to kind of get an easy combo going for demonstration. And the point of the game is to kind of look for little openings. You see one here, we see one there. So I'm going to take advantage of this one. That's going to give me a combo, and that's going to give me a combo. Now I'm really cooking on the powers. I'm sorry, on the potential down there. So looking for holes is a really good idea when you're on the offensive. Because it definitely generates more resources for you to use, and that will essentially really kind of push the game in your favor. So I'm going to do it a couple more times here. Okay. So I want to show you one more thing about potential. Now, like mana breakthroughs, we also get what we call kinetic charges. And what kinetic charges is when you fill up your potential bar to halfway or to full, your land masses will do more damage. So if I move this guy here, and as you can see, now I get a kinetic charge, and now my pieces actually do more damage. As you can see, there's like little arcing electricity that's coming out of there. So a big part of the game is really acquiring these resources to increase your damage, as well as increase your moves, and also to be able to use powers. And next tutorial I'll show you that, but one more thing before I go is I want to show you how to fortify your pieces. Now, fortifying your pieces does something. What it does is it makes your pieces harder to get through. Now, this little formation I made right here is called, well, we call it like a wallflower, because it just it protects every angle. And what I mean by that, I'll just show you kind of a more simpler example. So, a defended piece is basically a piece that is backed up by a piece behind it. So if I attack this way, just watch what happens. It does a very little damage, only 6 damage, but if I attack this way, it does full damage. But if I attack this way, it's only 6. And the reason why is this piece behind it is reinforcing that angle. Thus, it makes it harder to destroy. Now up here, as you could kind of see geometrically, I have every side covered. So if it doesn't matter where I attack, it's very hard to get through that. I'll just show you one more time. I'm going to pass this turn. I'm going to pick up my mana. It's very, very hard to get through that, as you see. After a few moves, I did destroy one, but even so, it gets a little harder to get through. So the way to combat that is powers. And these little nifty guys are going to be a lot of fun. There's a lot of different ones. And we're going to cover that in the next tutorial, how to use them, and how to really change your strategies and just, really just kind of kick the living crap out of your opponent. I could say that, can't I? Thanks.